They're floods that haven't been seen in New South Wales for up to 100 years. Across large parts of the state's coast, towns, suburbs and properties are underwater, and there are warnings of more rain to come. Thousands of people have been told to leave their homes in Sydney's west and on the mid-north coast. Sydney's major dam, Warragamba, has continued to spill, sending water into surrounding suburbs. Evacuation orders have been issued in Western Sydney and the foot of the Blue Mountains, affecting residential areas around Penrith and downstream in North Richmond as the Nepean and the Hawkesbury rivers reach peak. The Hunter region is also being impacted by days of rain, particularly people in low-lying properties of Bulladella and Dungog. Meanwhile, the mid-north coast is on alert for further flooding from Taree to Gloucester, Wingham to Kempsey and up to Port Macquarie as well, where a significant number of properties in the Hastings area have been inundated in that once-in-a-century event.
A rooftop rescue in Taree. The only way out for this resident was up, winched to safety by a helicopter. Floodwaters have inundated homes along the New South Wales mid-north coast, forcing residents to pack what they can and leave.
The water just come from nowhere, and I have a little car, it's gone under, and my home, motorhome, this is what I have, me and my mate.
Pumps worked overtime to save other Port Macquarie properties, and the rain will only intensify again tomorrow.
We're still looking at rainfall totals that could be as high as 200 to 300 millimetres. So again, just being really focused, that is our key area of concern.
In parts of the Northern Rivers area and the Hastings area, it's actually a 1 in 100 year event.
The soil subsided under a property in Newcastle, while further north, landslides blocked a road and stopped a driver in their tracks. 16 areas have been declared disaster zones and can apply for financial support.
As the need arises, I'll be on the phone to the Commonwealth and we'll be signing them off as quickly as we possibly can.
In Sydney, large swathes are underwater, suburb after suburb after suburb. Yesterday, the main dam, Warragamba, overflowed. Today, the waterfall was relentless, turning the Nepean and Hawkesbury rivers into seas.
I've never seen it like this before, never.
And I've never seen 100 mil of rain here for a long time. We had that overnight.
In the city's west, the State Emergency Service is working around the clock as Penrith prepares for the worst, with predictions the river could rise as high as 10 metres.
Well, we don't honestly know what's going to happen because the floodwaters, we've got so much water that the water won't go anywhere.
The Nepean River here is really moving. In fact, some locals have commented to me that they've never seen it move this quickly. But what authorities are worried about is what happens if it slows down. If the water becomes banked up downstream, it'll rise quickly here. And there are lots of houses in low-lying areas or on the banks of the river that are at risk. The heavy rain has made its mark on Sydney, and counting the cost of this disaster will take some time. Jonathan Hare, ABC News, Penrith.
Well, let's bring in Jonathan Hare, who joins us from Penrith in Sydney's west. Jonathan, evening to you. More evacuation orders issued late this afternoon. How are locals coping there?
Yeah, that's right. New evacuation orders for the western part of Penrith. People in those low-lying areas were told to be out by 4:30 this afternoon. Also for the suburbs of Jamison Town and Regentville, people in those areas were told to be out by 9 p.m. tonight. Now, I will say, despite those evacuation orders, it is a bit of a relaxed vibe around here at the moment. The scene I'm looking at is a lot of people out walking, exercising, families coming down to take photos with their kids of the Nepean River behind me as it slowly rises up, people driving around. But we also have seen some police officers starting to go through the area and tell people to leave. So there has been, I guess, the sightseeing crowds have died down a little bit since those officers started to patrol this bank of the Nepean River. And I guess it's surprising to see people out, considering the tone from authorities during official press conferences today. They were saying don't be outside unless you absolutely have to. So there is a bit of a relaxed vibe here in Penrith at the moment. But for those people who have been told to evacuate, is an anxious night ahead. They won't know, well, they've been told to leave their homes, so they won't know where the waters are up to, whether the Nepean River does in fact rise up high enough to reach their homes. So an anxious night ahead for those people.